I find that quite a challenge. If someone's got a big problem and they're stuck, no problem. Roll our sleeves up, get in there. Somebody gets on a call with me and they're interested in coaching, let's say, right? So I get on a call with them and I can't find anything sometimes that they're up to that they want to get going for. I'm not going to coach them. What do we do? You come to a call to get inspired? What is it you're up to?
Right.
Well, I'm good, you know.
You'll have people show up for a call. They wrote goals at the beginning of the year, but if you look at their to-do list, it looks like nothing that will lead to where they said they wanted to go.
It's an essential part of being a coach that you do hold people to account for what they said they were going to do.
That's right.
What they said they were going to do, right?
Don't be mad about the results you don't have from the work you didn't do.
Welcome to today's episode of Free to Lead. Journeys of leaders driven by passion, inspired by purpose. And today I'm delighted to welcome Chris Robinson. Chris is the Executive Vice President of Maxwell Leadership and is author of a book coming out in September called Drift to Drive. He specializes in equipping leaders across industries with the skills and mindset for meaningful impact. And he's known for his authentic approach and dynamic speaking style. And he highlights the dangers of success-induced complacency and other strategies for sustained excellence. And with all of that, transforms comfortable success into purposeful growth. Without further ado, Chris, welcome to Free to Lead.
Hey, Will, thanks so much for having me today. Excited to be on here with you.
Yeah. If you could give us a little backstory of how you got to where you are today, working with Maxwell, and very similar to me, into leadership, but doing more public speaking than I do. And like that, what's your route to that?
It goes back many years, Will. It really started with John Maxwell back in 2001. I was actually a sales person at an organization, and I was really looking to try to stand out. How do I grow? How do I get promoted on the job to go from a salesperson to a sales manager was really my primary objective. And at that time, I was attending a church that was offering a course by John Maxwell, the 21 Laws of Leadership. And so I took that course, the 21 Laws of Leadership, and each week I would go into this classroom and there was this tube TV with the VHS player that they would put John Maxwell into each week. And then I would learn from John and then go back and apply these principles in the workplace. And I started to stand out. I began to really learn principles of adding value to people, putting other people's agendas ahead of my own, and just really focusing on developing people. Now, that helped me get promoted, and I fell in love with personal growth and development. So as most personal growth junkies, I continued to, go to different conferences and events. And at one of the conferences, they had a breakout session where they said, hey, they had a speaker showcase, and all these people, they were well-dressed, they were well-spoken, they all had books, they had CDs. And then at the end of it, they said the magic word, Wills, that changed my life forever. They said, these people get paid to speak. And I said, I like the sound of that. And, from that moment, I really had this desire to be a speaker because my life had been impacted by speakers. So I thought, man, if I could just focus on developing people, how awesome would that be? So I began to really just grow where I was right there inside of my role. And every week I was hosting a sales meeting. I began to do, workshops for the company that I was in. And then eventually what ended up happening was I ended up transitioning out to start another business. And then that business did not work. And so now I was left with the question, what do I do? And so I said, I'm going to try this coach and speaking thing. And I went in hot pursuit of that for about a year. And then that's when I came across Maxwell's certified program back in 2011. I knew that that was my bridge to personal growth and development because they had all the tools and resources I needed to really monetize this soft skill, perceived soft skill of leadership development. And I joined the team, I used their tools and resources, built a business, coaching, speaking, and training. And in 2016, they asked me to be one of the teaching faculty members. 2020, they asked me to actually become the vice president of the organization. And today, I lead over 58,000 members that have been certified all around the world.
Wow. Great. quite an intentional drive forward, right?
Yeah. Indeed.
It's really great. So, and your speaking engagements, where do you speak? Who employs you to speak? I mean, what's
Yeah.
what's the audience, if you like?
Oh my goodness. So it's been leaders of all industries. So I mean, you name it, I've spoke there. So whether it's conferences for entrepreneurs, corporations such as Edward Jones, NASA, I've spoken for them, Berkshire Hathaway, Cisco, Pfizer. So companies bring me in when they're really trying to give their members a lift and give them an understanding of what leadership is and how it can benefit them. As of recently, obviously, with the new book coming out, really tackling, complacency in people's lives. And, what I did through the book was, most people, when they think about complacency, they think of it as laziness or apathy, and they go, oh, no, that's not me. But I redefined complacency inside the book. And how I define complacency in the book is I call it a secret place of satisfactory success. A secret place of satisfactory success. So if we think about that, we all have areas of our life where we worked hard at some point in time, we got good, and then we just kind of let it go to the wayside. And we get into that motion of it is what it is. We've always done it this way. Well, it's okay. It's not broken, so we don't need to fix it. And we let that gap between what we're good at and our potential grow bigger each and every single day. So my goal with this book and with this content now is really to close the gap between our good and our potential. That's really where I want to get people.
Well, you got to somehow get people then bump started to start growing again, to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bigger challenges.
Yeah. Well, in the book, I talk about, being a rumble strip, here in the U.S., on the side of the road, what they started doing in the 1950s was that people were getting very familiar with the roads on 2-lane roads. And what was happening was people began to drift into oncoming traffic because of the familiarity. So what they did in the 1940s is they began cutting these little grooves in the line, and it would give you a little rumble to wake you up and bring you out of that drift. And so my goal is to really be a leadership rumble strip for people out there today.
Love it. That's great. Yeah, wake them up. Say, hey, come on, you're drifting. Get back in your lane. Get back and causing stuff to happen, making it work, building success, keeping going. Yeah. People talk about procrastination. There's all sorts of things that people come up with. And from my perspective, fundamentally, they've lost sight of what they're up to, their mission, their goal, what they're out to accomplish in the world. Good enough,
Right. Yeah.
It's a silent killer, the complacency one,
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Sometimes somebody gets on a call with me and they're interested in coaching, let's say, right? So I get on a call with them and I can't find anything sometimes that they're up to that they want to get going for. I'm not going to coach them because what do we do? You come to a call to get inspired? No, what are you up? What is it you're up to?
Right.
And, well, I'm good, I find that quite a challenge. If someone's got a big problem and they're stuck, no problem. Roll their sleeves up, get in there. Yep. It's that insidious kind of, well, I'm pretty good. I'm okay. I mean, it's all right. It's like you got. It's like, okay, I need those. I forgot what you call those electrodes. I need to pump them into you. Like, come on, get some life, man.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, when they have a lack of clarity, complacency is almost always irrelevant. And so in the book, I talk about 2 types of complacency that happens when they have a lack of clarity, because the first step in the 7-step framework that I teach is clarity, is that you cannot have what you cannot see. So there's 2 types of complacency when it comes to clarity. The first one is what we call complacency myopia. Now, complacency myopia is an optometry term for nearsightedness. Yes. Like they are very busy, Will. If you look at their agenda, you look at their schedule, they've got something going on every single day, but they don't have any idea where they're going. Or They're on the flip side of it, and they have what's called complacency hyperopia. And hyperopia is an optometry term for farsightedness. They see the big vision, they know where they want to go, but they have no idea what to do to take that very first step.
Right.
And so our goal, as coaches and as leaders is to help our people get that 2020 vision to where they have the big goal in mind, but they know the daily steps to start moving towards that. And like you said, you'll have people show up for a call. They wrote goals at the beginning of the year, but if you look at their to-do list, it looks like nothing that will lead to where they said they wanted to go.
Yeah. That takes interrupting. It's an essential part of being a coach that you do hold people to account for what they said they were going to do.
That's right.
That's what they said they weren't going to do, right?
Right.
It's all the time to work out these actions to take, and then you don't take them. Okay.
Right.
Now what?
Right. Well, a real simple quote from the book. Don't be mad about the results you don't have from the work you didn't do. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. That's a great quote. Yeah. It's very good. Love it. I love it. You see, we're on the same page. You got the book coming out, and then you got so is it your own speaking and coaching business, or are you part of Maxwell's?
So there's two parts. So one, we have the book coming out, and that's its whole lane in itself. But I'm the executive vice president of Maxwell Leadership Certified Team. So we actually certify coaches, speakers, and trainers, and allow for them to use John Maxwell's content, tools, and resources for them to build a business on their own. So I'm the vice president of that organization, and of course I speak outside of that, with companies and organizations on leadership. And of course, now on this book, From Drift to Drive.
So do you reach out to people, or do they reach out to you? I mean, how's it work?
Both, all the above, all the above. It's one of those things where, in the very beginning, it was 100% outreach because nobody had any idea what I was or what I was doing. Now we have a good lead pool of companies and organizations that reach out, individuals that want me to come speak at their conferences. But that's just a byproduct of consistency over time. It's not like it was a magic bullet or I had one single, funnel that brought all these clients. It's doing this, Will. It's getting out, meeting people for the first time, building relationships, and letting it grow from there. And just figuring out ways to add value to people. You add value to people, make people look good, you're going to open up more doors.
Exactly. I think it's one of the things, because for myself, if I look, one of the things that I've been guilty of is not creating that relationship. Just get right into the problem. What's the problem? Let's fix that. Let's move forward.
Right.
Especially, I led programs, so there's maybe 200 people in the program, right? And you're going to try and reach as many of them as you can, so you're getting right into it. But if you don't create that relationship, at the beginning, from moment one, when you walk up the front of the stage, you've lost them. You've got to get them in the first. You got to spend, in fact, the whole first day. It's a 3-day program. The whole first day is really creating a relationship.
So, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's about relationships. And at the end of the day, that's what we got into this business for, is because we wanted to help people. So with you jumping right into, I want to help them, man, that just tells me you got a great heart and a big heart to want to help people. And that's what you got into it for. And so when you have that type of care for people, that just bleeds out on everything else that you do.
Many of the people listening to this podcast, they're running their own business. They may not have 50 employees or 1,000 employees. They may just have themselves and a couple of others. What advice would you give, or what would you say to those guys who are, it's okay. Maybe they're not. I'm thinking of one particular guy I had actually. He's got his business. It's doing okay, but he isn't making any money. It's doing okay. Right? He's bringing in $500,000 a year. And he can't afford to pay himself very much, but he's built his business up for 30 years. So he doesn't want to let go of it. But what would your approach be there?
Yeah, when it comes to an individual like that, one, that's one where you really got to get down into the details of profitability and looking at, okay, what is he doing that keeps him busy, but it's not profitable? And can we shift some of his products and services to more of the more profitable services that he offers? The second thing is I think it's a reset of his vision. He may not be willing to pay the price on something brand new. And so this just gets by. He's worked for 30 years to do this. And so he's really kind of lost vision and may not have the energy to want to pay the price to build something brand new or to really go back and fix what he knows needs to be fixed, because he knows what needs to be fixed in his business, but he may just be unwilling to pay the price. So getting clarity on what he really wants and then kind of helping him, go back through and sort and see, hey, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you are willing to pay the price for? What energizes you about the business these days? What doesn't energize you about the business this day? Can we delegate that to somebody else? What can we do to create more space in order for you to go do something you're more passionate about right now in life? And so really with the individual like that is we got to try to reignite that fire by getting a new vision for where they want to go.
Exactly. Perfect. All right, great. And if people want to reach out to you, maybe book you for a speaking gig, or also, you're interested in your book, how would they reach you, Chris?
Yeah. So for speaking, it's chrisrobinsonspeaker.com, chrisrobinsonspeaker.com. And then for the book, drifttodrivebook.com, drifttodrivebook.com. And you can pick up orders on Amazon through there. And then we've got a great list of bonuses that you're going to get before the book comes out. I'd just really be honored to serve you.
Brilliant. Great. All right. Awesome. Great. It's been great to have you on the show. Thanks for being on the show, Chris.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Will.